Hello everybody, and welcome to another patch notes video by the Frogman. We'll be talking today about tomorrow's patch, the December 4th patch for Fellowship. So let's get right into it. Scrolling past this first part, 7 a.m. Central European Time is when we get the patch. Patch notes for the December 4th, 2025 patch. This week sees the initial release of our Eternal Matchmaking system. As Hamish spoke about it in his most recent update, this is only a first pass on the feature. We'll be keeping an eye out for feedback from you and we'll be making improvements on this feature over time. Awesome. Progression. Eternal Matchmaking. Players who have unlocked Eternal should find the matchmaking tool already and be able to use it to find a group to play with. In Eternal Matchmaking, players group by tier based on how high they have climbed in Eternal. Each tier encompasses up to 5 difficulties, which determines the initial search bucket for our matchmaking system. In order for players to graduate to the next tier, they need to time a dungeon in the next tier. Interesting, okay. As an example, players who enter Eternal for the first time will only be able to matchmake into one Eternal. Once that player has timed a +5 Eternal dungeon, they will be eligible for matchmaking with players in the +5 Eternal tier. After timing a +10 Eternal, they are eligible for the 10 Eternal tier, and so forth. In the situations where the queue times are long, the matchmaker will expand the search criteria downward. Interesting, okay, until a full group is found. Once a match has been made, the players are grouped together as if they were pre-made with a randomly assigned leader. It is up to the players to coordinate through chat and select a difficulty and dungeon freely, with an upper difficulty limit set by the player with the lowest difficulty complete, as it has been doing as well. So this is just for interesting. Okay, yeah, this is just for essentially grouping players together. It looks like okay. Auto heal effects. There was an issue with any effects that healed players when dropping below a specified health amount, causing them to save players from death even in situations where the damage taken was far greater than the healing provided by the effect. This has now been addressed. The fix going in for this build will cause players to reach 0 health to always die, regardless of any healing effects that may have triggered. For next Thursday's patch, we will be revamping the health system to allow negative values, which will once again allow auto heal effects to save players from death, but only if the healing is large enough to cover the damage completely and result in a positive health value once all the damage and healing has resolved. Okay, cool. So it seems like Chief Rebel has recognized like us not dying to one shots, which will be really cool for um, when you're actually pushing and you're doing things like Desecrator Bomb Soaks and they're only killing you over by like 6k. So that part's nice. I like that. I like that. It looks like it's cutting out the cheese of like solo soaking Everdon Grove boss soaks and stuff like that. So anyways, this change applies to Torment of Bale Aurum set bonus, Rogue Resurgent Topaz gem power, and Latent Resurgence defensive weapon trait. Additionally, for gems, the Unyielding Vitality gem power no longer triggers secondary effects such as procs or effects that have a chance to trigger on healing. Unyielding Vitality is intended to be a passive health regeneration, not a heal. Now functions as intended. Okay. UI, to make it clear about a player's progress in leagues, an icon showing which dungeon difficulty a player has access to has been added to the player's profile tool. Okay. Nice. Heroes. Ilarion, there was an issue with Lunar Light Mark causing multiple Ilarions to be able to trigger the damage from each other's debuff while not consuming any stacks from it. Lunar Light Mark can now only be triggered by the player who applied it. So just a bug fix for Ilarion. Yeah, currently you could play double Ilarion and it would you would just get a bunch of free damage essentially from doing the station. So pretty short patch, just some fixes it looks like. And it looks like they're just trying to push out the Eternal system. So interesting that we got this ahead of December 11th because I thought December 11th would be like this next big patch, but guess we got a lot to look forward to. So, anyways, I will see everybody out there. As always, you can catch me on Twitch every day, or feel free to leave a comment, and I will be more than happy to respond to you. But see everybody out there. Bye.